Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube segment, I'm going to be talking about Thanksgiving, a little history, and what I think it means and what I think is the significance and what are things that are very important that are associated with this time of year. Now, Thanksgiving is about showing gratitude and thanks for the harvest that's being blessed, or that has been blessed. This season, or this year, it falls on Thursday, November 27th, 2014, and in the United States. Now, it has various dates at various locations. It's November 6, 2014, for example, in Liberia, and in the Norfolk Island, it's November 26, 2014. Now, since 1942, Thanksgiving has been celebrated on the fourth Thursday of November in the United States. It's been the consistent time for the United States. And I think, when I look at Thanksgiving, this is about being thankful for what we have, not being indignant. It's about not being avaricious or greedy in terms of the food we have. It's being thankful also for not facing oppression, poverty, or destitution. Being thankful are the ones that this applies to, that have a family, that can have a great meal that they can indulge in with, and be having that fellowship, perhaps as well for some people, depending on the people. That would vary, of course, people to person and families to families, perhaps. But this is also a time where I believe it's similar or comparable to Christmas, in the sense that there's an opportunity for those that have the potential to do this to perhaps help others maybe that aren't as blessed, aren't as fortunate in terms of meals, going out, maybe even if it's just that one person you could help out this time of year, giving somebody a prodigious meal. Yes, granted, there are homeless places, and there's places for people that are on the street that can go have something to eat. But at the same time, those people, regardless whether they go into these places and they find something to eat on Thanksgiving, that they go to that right location or whatever, it's not the same as opposed to having Thanksgiving with your family, having a family to have it with, and having people around that know you, that love you, that are maybe enamored with you as a family member. Now, I'm not mediumistic, and I'm not a prophet. However, I do believe in all probability I will be spending Thanksgiving alone. I have very few friends in my location in the Nashville, Tennessee area, and majority of my family is really pretty much all of them are either they're out of state or deceased, and there's not an overabundance communication with the majority of them, or perhaps any at this point in time right now. So, I'm going to be spending it in solitude. I'm going to be having, more likely than not, Thanksgiving by myself, but at the same token, I'm going to be giving thanks to the man upstairs. No, I don't mean the person that actually lives above me at my residence, but the man, that supreme being, and God. Others may have a name for him. This applies to those of you, obviously, who do believe in this, and those that don't, I don't condemn you, and I just respect my belief on this. And that, this is something where I will be appreciative of having the ability to have a meal on this day. The fact that I have shelter where I can have this and have some tranquility and peace in mind in the process, that I'm not on the street. At least as of right now, I do have something, a roof over my head, and I could have that meal in the positive aspect of things, where it'll be fairly peaceful and quiet. And I appreciate being able to have that. It's not the same thing necessarily as being able to revel in this time of year with close friends and or family members, but I will be adaptable to it. And I think the main thing is, when we look at a Thanksgiving, as I stated before, to be appreciative of what we have. The fact that we're going, those of us that have the ability to at least indulge in a good meal, and even if we're not having it with family members or close friends, and think of those that are less fortunate, the people in impoverished situations, the oppressed, the homeless, people that are in dire need of just necessities, are struggling as far as subsistence goes. I think that this is what's really important. And if you have ability, you have like a vehicle, and you can get somebody a meal that you see on the street, I'm not saying necessarily invite him or her into your home. You do have to proceed with caution and obviously use discretion as far as that goes. But but try to maybe help out, even if it's making some charitable contribution to some agency or organization that helps people that are homeless, that are less fortunate to indulge in a good Thanksgiving meal. And I think it's just about helping others proportionately with what you're able to do and within your resources. Of course, you can't always be too extravagant if you don't have the funds to do something. You're not going to spend so much where you leave yourself in a state where you're on the threshold of bankruptcy or something. So you know what I'm saying, I believe. And I think that's really the main element, the main thing to look at as far as Thanksgiving goes. Just looking at things where being grateful for those of you that have a home and that have the capability of having a good Thanksgiving meal and being able to enjoy it, and family members or not having anybody, just remember that, like I stated, it's like, even if you don't have anybody to share it with and you have your own place where you're staying at least you're not out on the street and trying to figure out how you're going to enjoy Thanksgiving, and trying to really improvise and have to go maybe to a homeless shelter and go eat at that location with people you don't really even know. It can be a difficult, trying time. I've stated in at least one of my other videos that I believe that I was homeless for a certain period. So those of you that see this and are currently homeless, the few of you that are, understand that I can empathize and I can relate to that. Sometimes the feeling of not having anybody can be very trying, and it can take its toll on you if you let it. And just remember that self-love is paramount, and even if you don't really have anybody, at least in the tangible sense, that you feel that love from at this time of year, remember that the man upstairs does love you, and there is something in that. Well, anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube segment for Thanksgiving and my take on it. And stay tuned next time, where I will be giving you my take on Christmas. Until next time, people, Edwin Learnard saying, stay well.